I should have probably asked this ahead of time. This clicker thing, do I just hit the arrow for it to go next, or does anybody know? We're gonna wing it, which I don't recommend doing on a regular basis. So I am Misha Mayhand, like she said. I'm super excited that you guys came to my breakout session. I want this to be very interactive, so I want to kind of do it in like a conversational type style, because that's just kind of how I do things. So there will be a lot of times throughout the presentation where I'll be asking for some of you guys' feedback. And hopefully we can all wake up now, we can kind of shake it off, get lit, do all those things. So, because I just love it, right? That's the best part about being a creative, we're not boring people. So, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship in the media. I will also do like a piggyback presentation on myself. So I am Misha Mayhand, blogger, author, motivation, and literary coach. On the third slide, I actually put some of the things that I do. I don't know if it's, okay. I put some of the things that I do, so like I have my Get Motivated with Misha segment, I have my Facebook group, The Motivated Moguls, which you're able to join. You just like click join, then I'll accept you. And I want to talk more about the Get Motivated with Misha. I do that every Monday, and I hashtag that a lot because basically I'll upload a video on Monday on a specific topic, and I kind of just talk to people about, like, I brought up the winging thing. I talked about that a couple weeks ago where I don't recommend it. I think that's lazy when you wing stuff, so only for today is that okay. But yeah, basically I just talk to people and kind of just motivate them in the beginning of the week, because Mondays are the hardest days to get motivated. Everybody hates having to wake up, whether it's for your job or for your for school. So I do it at the beginning of the week strategically, and people chime in on that. And I also post a monthly newsletter. So I got the picture of Ambition for Sale up there. That's my first book. It's a comprehensive guide on being more productive, setting goals, and just knowing that just because you're in a certain position doesn't mean that you have to stay there. You can always excel beyond that. So I'm actually going to be giving out a couple free copies today with those who choose to participate. And so hopefully you guys will become interactive with me, because I want you to. And then I have my two logos up there. So the first logo that you see is actually my original logo, which is the avatar where I have short hair and the glasses. That is when I first started this particular blog, so it is a very significant time in my life. So I had to put that up there because now I have a newer logo. Oops. Now I have a newer logo, which is basically, it's not going back. Wait. Okay, there we go. Now I have a newer logo, which is basically the ambitious mix with the paint in the background, because now my whole mantra is, especially because I'm solely targeting women, we're all a masterpiece in the making. So everything, single thing that happens to you happens for a reason, and you have to take those experiences and learn how to turn them into positive mantras, okay? So we're going to talk about content marketing today. What is content marketing? So I put basically what my own definition of it is. I feel that content marketing is the practice of strategically marketing a brand through different mediums with the intent to inform or educate, right? So typically when you look at people in the media, that is what we do. I have a journalism degree. When I graduated from college, I thought I was going to be a news anchor. I thought I was going to write for this magazine. I thought I was going to move to New York. It is kind of a hard field to break into, but luckily with my ambitious drive, which is where I got the name Ambitious Mix from, I was able to create my own lane and break into it entrepreneurially. So I'm still taking those original elements, but I'm choosing to do it on my own kind of platform, and I will talk more about platforms later. So then I also broke down what the definition of content is, and then what the definition of marketing is. So you got content as something that is to be expressed through some medium, as speech, writing, or various arts. So I don't want you guys to think that content is just writing. It could be video, it could be audio, it could be photos, all that. So, and then you have marketing. Obviously, most of us kind of know what marketing is, but just to kind of break that down, the total activities involved in the transfer of goods from the producer or seller to the consumer or buyer, including advertising, shipping, storing, and selling. So kind of going back into what I do, even though I'm not always so-called selling a product, even down to the stories that I'm helping people tell, I am helping them being told in a way in which is selling to the reader, right? So how am I making a story more interesting? I am definitely marketing it to you. When I report on other people, I am marketing that story to you as well. So like Dominique said, she's already ready to be my client because she has a story that she needs to tell, and she wants to be able to effectively market that to people. So why is content marketing important, right? kind of like I just said, you need to know how to content market in order to be able to sell yourself. And that's kind of what media is all about. We're a different type of business owner. You have regular business owners where they're just solely selling things and they're kind of trying to convince you that you need this product. When you're in media, you are actually selling yourself. So typically, that's why people are there, right? That's why you guys came to this room, to see me, to see what it is that I'm going to be talking about. So there's always just that marketing that is involved in that. And many small businesses, like I put on my slide, don't realize how important that is. But when you look at brands like Nike, Coca-Cola, Adidas, Best Buy even, they all have stories behind their brands. So it is very important for you to know what your story is, because that's going to tie into anything that you do. So for those people in here that are not even trying to go into media, but you're trying to be an entrepreneur or a business owner, you need to know what your story is, because that's going to help sell your brand. So let's move on. So what's your brand story? So this is where we're going to start getting interactive. I just want to warn you. So first off, I want to ask the room, does anybody in here already have a business? Or they have a business idea? You do? Because I do need 2 volunteers. I want you guys to be, I need 2 brave souls. So I got you, and then I saw her raise her hand. Okay, so I got 2 questions for you, and I want you guys to share this with the audience. One, I want you to address what your brand story is, and then why does your brand or business exist, and who is it serving? So I'll give you some time to kind of think about that, and then if you'll share that with the audience. Let me know when you're ready.
So the business that I own right now is sort of my past life, and I'm back to school to do something else. But I am still trying to work at that business when I have time, which is not very often. My first degree is in fashion design, and I have a business that sells scarves. Oh yeah, sorry. So I have a scarf line. I started designing custom gowns, and they were talking about pivots this morning. And originally I wanted to make wedding gowns for individuals. And that proved to be difficult if you don't have a customer, you don't have business. So I did that for a while, and then started networking with the people that would be my customer. And it was still tough, so I switched over to a product that didn't have to already have a customer, and that was the scarves. So I have a scarf line. I have a lot of inventory right now, and I've been working on marketing on Instagram and Facebook and word of mouth, but really I'm full-time in school now, so I don't spend a lot of time on it at the moment. What were the things you wanted to address?
Okay, so
who are the customers?
So the second was, why does your brand or business exist? And this has something to do with what I'm going to talk about next.
Oh,
so yeah, basically, who are you serving? Like, why did you decide to go and do, what did you say, a line of scarves and yeah?
Well, so I started with gowns and it switched to scarves.
Okay.
So
can you tell us about that? Like, why did you switch? And
I switched because I wasn't making sales. You had to have a customer first. So I switched to a product that anyone could be the customer for. Men, women, you know, someone might buy a scarf for their mother, their grandmother, whatever. So it made it more marketable, and I sold scarves. I sold more scarves, but still not, you know, enough to pay.
Now, what's the name of this business?
Davalos Designs.
Okay, I'll look you up. I'm glad you said that, and I'm going to have you pause because I'm actually going to address what you just said. And then the next person was you.
I'll grab that. Okay. So I'll turn this way. So my name's Cassie. My father was a truck driver growing up, and he would always have an atlas in his truck. It was always, I'm like, Dad, it's 2008. Why don't you use your GPS in your phone? And he always said, if you have an atlas, you have to figure out how to get somewhere. You have to make your own journey. You have to go through the steps of, oh, there's construction here. I have to go a different way. And he said, with GPS, you just follow what it says, and you never build your own journey. You never figure out how to get there. You just follow guidelines. And as he did pass away in his truck, and I'm going to school for dietetics, that ties in with someone helping someone become healthier through diet and exercise. You have to teach them how to do it, take them down this journey. So I want to create a business called Atlas that teaches them how to have this journey of a healthier lifestyle instead of just telling them, eat this, eat that, you'll be fine. So I want to help them create this journey. So I'm marketing truck drivers and existing to help people just like my father who struggled to eat healthy as a truck driver.
Okay, I like you. Not that I don't like you, but I'm going to tell you why I like her, because that's one of the things I was going to address you on. So next we're going to talk about target audiences. So she doesn't have her business yet, but she already knows who she wants to target. I do believe that that was part of the reason why you probably didn't sell the ball gowns as well as you did, and why you're not selling the scarves as well as you want to, because one nugget that I am going to give you guys today is that you can't sell to everybody. You have to know directly who you are targeting. So like you said, you were going to sell to like men, women, Negroes, everybody. You kind of have to figure out why it is that people need your scarf, because I can go to Walmart and get a scarf, right?
My scarf at Walmart. No, you can't.
Right, so that's the kind of attitude that I need you to
Walmart's not my
have.
customer.
Yeah.
That's the kind of attitude that I need you to have, because you have to know who you're targeting in particular, and you have to know that you can't target everybody, and then you have to know why it is that they need your product. So definitely that's something that you want to keep in mind. You have to know who you're pitching and selling to, and you can't sell to everybody, and it's very important for you to figure out who your target audience is. So, like, did you say your name was Tassie?
Cassie.
Cassie, I'm sorry. So like Cassie said, she knows specifically she's targeting 2 truck drivers. That is a very niche market. So that would just be my suggestion to you. Like you said, you have a lot of confidence in your scarves, and your scarves aren't like any other scarves, and then you have to figure out who exactly it is that needs your scarves.
I do know who.
Okay. So next we're going to talk about marketing your content. So in what ways have you set up a marketing plan to effectively reach your audience? So like you said, you use Instagram, you use Facebook. There's so many other social media sites out there. Similar to knowing your target audience, you have to know exactly where your target audience kind of dwells. So we can market on every social platform, but it might not be the most beneficial to us. For one, it's going to take too much time to do that ourselves, and typically you're working by yourself when you're first building your business. So I mostly market on Facebook and Instagram. I like Instagram because it's visual, and then Facebook because you can do long form things, and I also have a Snapchat. But you have other businesses that don't typically really, they don't have a large following on Instagram, but they do on Twitter. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of up to you guys to figure out where your target audience actually like interacts on the most. So it's funny because they say, like, for a lot of writers, oh, well, Twitter is like a perfect platform. I had a Twitter, I got 2 Twitters. It's just, I'm not gonna say it doesn't work for me, but it's not the most effective for me, I feel like. But it works for a lot of other writers because I'm targeting a specific audience of people, and I know exactly where it is that they're gonna be at. So that's just something to think about. And then also just what more you could be doing to market personalized content. So again, knowing what your story is and also including that in your marketing, and not just saying, hey, come buy my stuff, I'm selling it, but knowing why they need to buy your stuff and selling it. And I just actually finished a book called Start With Why. So it's by Simon Sinek, if you guys want to write that down. It's a really good book. It's not the most interesting book, but they make some good points in there as far as starting with why you're doing it. A lot of times people are not looking for how you're doing it. They're not looking for what you're doing. They're looking for why you're doing it. So again, just connecting to that target audience. And then the third thing I just want you guys to think about, and you don't have to share it with me, is just what your marketing goals are for 2017. If you're very serious about starting your business this year, then start thinking about what your marketing goals are. So again, are you just selling something, or are you inspiring a call to action? So again, I'm just keep using you because I thought you had a really good pitch. Like you said, truck drivers, they're always looking for somewhere to go. My solution is I'm going to help them find out, you know, where it is that they need to go and how they're going to get there. Awesome. My call to action is I do get motivated with Misha. You can be anything you want to be. All you have to do is change your mindset, right? So that's my call to action. What are you going to do today to be a better person? Are you going to read more books? I read a lot. Like, I have a degree, but so what? You never stop learning. I'm in membership programs. I'm constantly investing in myself to educate myself. So, and then again, I'm just reiterating, what's your story? So, creating a platform is key. Various ways to create a platform to market your brand. Content is the way to go. So, all of the things that I've named here, I pretty much do except podcasting. I suppose at some point I'll get into podcasting, but it is a great way to go. So, blogging, publishing books, both digital and print, public speaking, podcasting, like I said. So like, I'm gonna go back to you with the scarves. You saw your scarves, you said that your scarves are not, or not like the scarves at Walmart. What are other ways that you can market that? You could start a blog. You could start a blog talking about, you know, how when you put not even just your scarf, but how do you feel when you put a scarf on? So I'm actually gonna piggyback off that because I love scarves actually. I would probably have one on today, but I wore my cross, so that's fine. But when I put on a scarf, I'm just gonna tell you how I feel. And this is a way that you can market. When I put on a scarf, I feel warm, I feel cozy, I also feel stylish. So, I mean, you literally could start a blog about anything, even scarves. Just talking about how they make you feel. You can do a blog showing people how to piece scarves together. Because there's like, I used to work at Chico's, for instance. That's a retail store if you guys aren't familiar, but they own White House Black Market, Soma. But there was like a video that I had to watch, I remember in the back room, talking about like the 5 or 8 different ways you could tie a scarf. It was actually very enlightening. I was like, okay. So now, I mean, you got a lot of scarves. You got the infinity scarves and stuff like that out. But I think like one of the ways is like called the donut. But yeah. Awesome way that you would have never even thought about. I could build a blog about scarves, right? I could talk about how, you know, what the inside secrets are to starting a scarf business. That's a book. You know what I mean? So I have no idea what it takes to manufacture scarves. I know one other person that has a scarf line besides you. I have no idea the work that goes into it. That's a book. Public speaking, talking to people about building business. And then, like I said, even podcasting. A lot of people have their own podcast shows where they either talk about, you know, just some type of entertainment or teaching people how to build businesses, so on and so forth. So again, all of the examples that I just gave you are great examples to sell your products via content marketing. And then I put this quote in here. It's from that book that I just told you about. So it says, a great leader understands that earning the trust of an organization doesn't come from setting out to impress everyone. It comes from setting out to serve those who serve them. So again, just knowing why you're doing it. So we're going to talk about blogging a little bit more. I actually offer a blog consultation service, and I actually meet up with somebody on Monday to go over the various ways in which they can market their nonprofit organization via a blog. Because people want to get into blogging, but they just don't want to commit to doing it. Everybody's not a writer. They look at it like, well, if I'm blogging, I'm not a writer, and that's something that writers do. That is not true at all. A lot of the organizations and large corporations that you see actually have blogs now, and that's because that's the best way to connect to your target audience and your customer. So why are people so scared of blogging? They don't want to commit. Like I said, they're not confident in writing. Blog is very different from a magazine or a newspaper. What I like about a blog, like I said, is that you can be very conversational. It can be in your voice, and you can talk about whatever you want. You don't have to be a best-selling author to have a blog. Anybody can have a blog, right? So like I emphasize here, you need a blog, exclamation point. The average income for a blogger varies. The great thing about a blog is that it acts just like a website. So not only can you have a blog, you can sell stuff on your blog. A lot of people do affiliate marketing, so they have like ads and stuff on the side where if someone clicks the ad, they make money off that. It's super, I can't stress enough how important it is to have a blog. So we're gonna talk about also ebooks and paperbacks. Ebooks are very, very popular right now, right? And I actually, on the next slide, and if you guys have a printout, you'll see I've provided you with a chart of like how much money you can make just doing ebooks that people are making. So again, the title of this seminar was Going into Media Entrepreneurially. So this is the way that, this is how things are going now, right? Everything is like, you're gonna make only as much money as you want to make. So you have to have multiple streams of income coming in. So ebooks are a great way to do that. People love to have things on their iPads, love to be able to read things on their phones, love to be able to take it anywhere. So, and like I put here, believe it or not, people still read. I was actually watching Ellen DeGeneres actually at the nail salon. And Ellen actually was like someone was like, well, I want to write books. I am going to school for creative writing. And Ellen was like, well, good luck with that. You know, she's a comedian, so whatever. But she's like, well, good luck with that because nobody reads anymore. And the girl was like, well, you have a book. And she's like, yeah, but nobody reads. Well, that's not necessarily true because it depends on how you market that content to them. You either put in an ebook form, audiobooks are getting really popular. I love audiobooks and podcasts. You know why? Because I can be in my car and I can be listening to it. So I'm taking in the knowledge that way. I don't have to physically look at it. I can drive and do other things. I can clean up my apartment, and I'm still getting the same information that I would be getting if I was reading it. So Don't let that scare you. People do still read. So again, like I put here, this is an opportunity to maximize your marketing. And there are people out there making 6 figures as writers. So when you guys get a chance, you actually have that takeaway. I provided a chart there because I know people like facts. So that is just ebook market share. As you'll see on the chart, people made the most money through Amazon. I actually published my first ebook through Amazon. And they help a lot with marketing. It's super easy. It's not hard at all. It's just you have to be committed to it. You have to be dedicated to learning, and it's super easy to grasp onto. So when you guys get a chance, definitely check that out. So let's talk about public speaking. That's what I'm doing right now, right? So public speaking, one of the best ways that you can make money. People alone are making that amount of money there, according to crime.com, which is a reputable publication. But this is just for in the Midwest. I'm just giving you examples of ways to make money. Just via content, just via providing information to people, right? So if it's something that you're interested in doing, I do suggest that you work with a coach immediately. I have worked with coaches, not public speaking coaches yet, obviously because I have a journalism degree, so I'm not that nervous about public speaking, but just anything, business coaches. I worked with vision coaches. I have a business consultant that I consult with twice a week. Work with coaches. There's so many coaches out there for anything that you want to do, not even just public speaking. If you want to do it, there's always a way to develop yourself. So, and like I put at the last bullet point, just like with starting any business, so not even just public speaking, in the beginning you're not going to make a whole lot of money. So I do want to be honest with you guys about that because it is about hard work and grit. But the more experience you get, the more opportunities that will lead to paid gigs. Okay? And then again, podcasting, love podcasts. If you're thinking about a way to market your content, definitely go that route. A lot of people do it in groups. So you get people that have podcasts with 3 people sitting on a podcast. You get people that podcast by themselves. It's a great way to go because you start to let people in and they start to see what type of person you are. They get to see your personality. And then that's also how you build your audience because you're making that personal connection with them. Okay? So next I want to talk about creating products to sell via your platform. So some of you have already talked to me about the fact that you already have your products. For those that don't have a product, but they just know that they want to do some of these things. Aside from the way that you're going to market, what else are you going to market in addition to the information that you're giving people, right? So we're going to focus on actually selling the product. You've actually built your platform to share your brand story. Now you have an actual tangible item that you want to sell to your target customer. You're pitching this product to them because you have to think about, because there's always something that you can offer your target customer that they need, even if it comes down to you creating it. So I know a lot of people that have planners. I know a lot of people that have journals out. Wow, this is stuff that you can go on TJ Maxx and buy, but people are actually creating them themselves. So I'm actually going to piggyback off of that and talk about some popular items to sell in the media. So the journals will be one. T-shirts. I have T-shirts. I have books. Coaching consultation sessions. Like I said, I'm meeting up with someone on Monday for that. Courses. That's becoming really popular, and people are making a lot of money from that. So if you're a person that likes to teach people stuff, even if it's down to how to tie a scarf, you can literally go online, make a course for it. People will watch it and they will pay the money for it. And just typical publicity, so like blog posts, social media marketing, events. So lastly, what I want to lead you to is how will you lead the industry with innovation? These are all great products to make money from, but what else could your target audience use, right? Because you have to constantly, as a business owner, be building upon that. So you might have come out with a breakthrough product, but now it's the year 2020. What else could you be doing, right? The times have changed. How else can you build on your platform? So you have to constantly be building on your platform. So I just want you guys to set yourself apart from the rest to achieve longevity. Any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody else want to tell some more business stories or pitch anything? Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about maybe doing podcasts versus having a YouTube channel versus doing Facebook Live?
Yes, I should have talked about having a YouTube channel. Didn't even talk about that. So as we all know, YouTube is a great way to also get noticed, right? Probably why I didn't talk about this because I'm still trying to get mine up and popping. Like that's like the part where I'm like, I'm trying to fit this into my schedule because I'm already busy. So YouTube is a great way to go, especially, I just think anything that you can provide visually is a great way to go, period. For people to see you, for people to like make the connection to your face. So I would say do both if you can. I would say get your hands into as many things as possible when it comes to like actual marketing as far as podcasts, blogs, so on and so forth. The only thing I would say be sparingly with is the social media networks, because like I said, that can take a whole lot of time. So
With time constraints, where would you prioritize? Like, where would you put your energy first?
okay, so one of my best friends said something to me last night, and this is the advice that I'm going to give to you guys because I like that advice, and that's kind of what I do out every day anyways. I pick either one task or a couple tasks, right? Every day. What do I have to do no matter what every day? So every day, no matter what, I wake up, I read my Bible, because I'm reading like 2 books right now. That's the thing, like I'm always reading multiple books. And I make sure that I send out a couple posts on social media if I don't do anything. So you just have to find what you feel like is going to be most beneficial to your business. I feel like me constantly educating myself is beneficial, so that's why I make sure that I read every day, at least 10 pages out of the book that I'm reading. And also, obviously, getting those social media posts out there so that people can constantly see me. Because when you're in media, and even just with any business now, because the two are merging together so much, you have to constantly be relevant, because people will forget about you. You know, everything's in real time, so it's like, they might see a Misha's mix, and then further on down the line, they see another blog, and they forgot completely what I was talking about. So that would be my thing. Just find those 2 things that you have to do every day and fit it into your schedule. As far as task or organizing your tasks, I would just set like I would say make a schedule for yourself, okay? So do you work a regular job?
Yeah, part-time.
Okay.
So, it relates to what I do. So
It's like a flexible schedule?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically how I would go about that is, all right, well, I work from 11 to 7 today, let's just say. That seems like a shift you would have at some point. So from 8 o'clock when I wake up until 10 o'clock, I'm gonna work on this task, or I'll work on these 3 tasks for 15 minutes each. You know what I mean? Like, you just, basically, if you're working a job, you have to fit in around your schedule things to do. But my best recommendation for you is don't spend too much time on each task. So like I said, kind of set those deadlines for yourself and kind of just think like, okay, well, if I need to send out some social media posts, I'll do that at 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock to 8:15. From 9 o'clock to 9:30, I might eat breakfast. And then, you know, it's like you just have to stay on that schedule. They have apps for that, so I really like timing myself because I find that really helps. And then I'm like, okay, if I'm past my time, move on to the next thing. And that's it, and then we'll come back to that. But I find that once you kind of get into the habit, because really it's all about automation in your mind, and you're constantly doing it every day, it'll be easier to manage your time. But I know that is the toughest thing when you're trying to go into business for yourself, so that was a good question. Anybody else? Oh.
This may seem like a silly question, but regarding blogging, do you have to like to write?
So right, so that's what I was saying, like, a lot of people, they come to me, well, I don't like to write really, can you just train me on doing it, and then I can just train somebody else? I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but like I said, I think starting out, obviously, once you become a big corporation, you can just pay somebody, but starting out, I do think that you should do it yourself, just so that people can grab that voice and they get to know who you are, because if it's not in your voice, and it's kind of like, you don't want to have a business that's built on inauthenticity.
And then how long does it take to be successful on that blog? Like how many years?
It really depends on how much time you put in it. Some people it took 7 years, some people 3 years. I've been doing it since almost 4 years. So.
And it took 4 years for you to feel like you became successful at it?
Well, this is the thing. What do we all define as success? My level of success might be different from your level of success, right? So what really is being successful to you?
Or your definition of success?
So I feel like I've accomplished a lot in life. I don't feel like I've hit success yet. You know what I mean? But it was funny because I was reading this in the book, and it kind of was like, I don't think that success is you reaching a certain milestone. I think it's all of the things that you accomplish along the way. Like, So I don't know, I think my mindset's changing towards that. So I guess I could say I'm pretty successful. That's probably how people view me, but it's like we all kind of have that race in our mind, like once I hit here, I'm gonna be successful, right? So yeah, it depends on what success is to you.
And then do you blog every day, once a week? How often do you do it?
At least once a week. I have now just set up a schedule for myself because I'm doing the same things that I'm telling you guys to do, so it doesn't stop for me. So now it was at least once a week with the feature on the woman once a week. So now I'm actually on my schedule. I have Sunday, Wednesday, that feature. So now we're gonna get up to 3 times a week now. Because when I first started out, that's what I was doing. So I want to get back to like that consistency. And that's one thing I do want to reiterate, consistency is very important. That's actually going to determine how fast you blow up and how long it's going to take you to reach that level of what success is in your mind. You have to be consistent. Okay?
As an entrepreneur, what are some challenges you face that you would give advice?
So entrepreneurship is a mental thing, definitely. You will get discouraged, like how you said you had kind of switched up your business. That's normal. All of us go through that. Like I said, I kind of even fell to the wayside myself, and now I'm trying to get back more consistent with blogging, even though I've published 2 books, even though, but it's like you get discouraged because you feel like nobody's buying my stuff. Nobody's reading I think for me, nobody's reading my stuff. Nobody's liking, nobody's sharing. So I think it's a mental thing where we kind of feel like, oh my God, if I'm not getting enough attention or I don't have enough followers, then I'm not successful. But that's not true, because somebody always sees what you're doing. So it is a struggle. I would just say keep at it, be consistent, be determined. That's kind of what they teach in the book, Think and Grow Rich. I don't know if any of you have read that yet. Wonderful book. But to me, that's what I grabbed from it. It's just kind of like be determined and be persistent no matter what. You are going to face roadblocks, but just know that that doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that you're growing through the process, and you have to trust the process, because you're not going to hit instantaneous success. Like, you see people that have become YouTube successes or stuff that goes viral on Facebook all the time, but even for like the people that have got the YouTube success, they were like probably uploading videos for a long time. Because one person in particular that I think about, I actually went back and looked at some of her videos. She had been doing it for 7 years before she reached like the level of success where she is now. And that's because she also does other businesses and she has multiple streams of income. So that's just her being consistent, getting herself out there and staying relevant. So, yeah, keep at it. Just because something's not happening instantaneously doesn't mean that you're failing. That would be my advice to you. Anybody else? Yes.
Through social media and blogging, what are the sources of revenue from that? Like where do you get
So
your?
some of the things that I talked about today, revenue can generate from all those things, even podcasts. So like I listen to a podcast where constantly throughout the podcast, it's not like annoying or anything, but they do it a couple times, but they're like doing like same thing that you would hear on the radio ads. So they're like, hey, like you guys have heard about Bevel, if you use my coupon code, whatever, they're getting paid for that. That's an ad. So that's the #1 way to make money, ads and affiliates. Like I said, with blogs, what I really love about today's day and age, you can literally create products. So a lot of people create planners. I'm going to create a planner myself, downloadable products that people need. People need this stuff. I've bought people's stuff, and I'm a blogger. It's just knowing who you're selling to and then creating something that they can use. So books, you can make money via ads. You can make money even through paid posts. Like you're a blogger and you're like, hey, I got a certain following. I will post whatever you want for me on your blog for this amount of money. Like you can make money doing anything nowadays. But you just have to be entrepreneurial and you have to be strategic with it. But yeah, all the stuff that I named in this PowerPoint presentation, those are all ways you can make money. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes.
Can you be a little bit more specific about how you approach advertisers or if you want to do a sponsored post, how do you reach out to somebody?
Okay, so I've only ever done like one sponsored post. I kind of sent that out on my social media. But to my understanding, the way that it will work is usually if you go, because I've inquired about it before, usually if you go on like a business's website, they'll have an opportunity for you to be an affiliate. So you can usually it's like you will fill out a form and then you guys will kind of talk about what's needed, or like I said, you can send it out via social media. When I was doing sponsored posts, I was like, hey, I have sponsored posts for $10. It seems like that's the price that everybody does. If you want your business Like, say for instance, someone has an event going on or a t-shirt line that's about to launch. That's a great opportunity to do a sponsored post because that's an advertisement. People are gonna want to get on whoever's social media or however many people they can reach because they might have a certain target audience, but then they also want to meet your target audience because they're trying to reach more people and your target audience might be similar to theirs. So those are great opportunities, just sending it out there so that people know that it's available, and then also just having it on your website so that if they're interested, they actually have an option to buy it. You just got to be aggressive with it. Yep.
What's the best platform you recommend for blogging? Is it like WordPress or?
I use WordPress. I've used WordPress the whole time. And sometimes I get frustrated because I'm actually trying to fix something on my website right now that I built. So I have 2 different WordPress websites. I have the Ambitious Mix blog, and then Ambitious Mix LLC is where I actually sell things and take transactions from people. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to start using a different platform, but I like WordPress because when you're first starting out, it's very cost effective, even free. So that definitely, I'm a little skewed with that. WordPress is definitely one of my favorites, just as far as like user friendly.
How do you pair visual content and written content in your blog?
You said, how do I do that?
How do you pair like visual content with your written content in your blog? Like what imagery do you use?
So I don't have a specific formula. Like if I'm doing a specific post and I try not to let my post be too long because I'm a firm believer that people's attention spans are very short. So like, not to throw that guy under the bus that was talking earlier, but I saw people like sleep while he was like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I usually try to keep it 500 to 700 words. If it's like closer to 700, I'll throw probably at least a minimum of 3 pictures in there. And I make sure that the pictures have something to do with what I'm talking about.
Do you create it yourself or do you like find it online?
So sometimes I find them online, but like, let me see if I can find this. I created this. I use Canva a lot, so if you guys are into creating your own graphics, I love Canva. It's free. They do have a paid version, but I use the free version. Hold on. Because someone had actually, if it'll go back. This one here. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. But it's the one where I kind of like introduce myself. I have a Mac. I don't know how to work PCs anymore.
Click the edit, enable editing.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I went like way far back. Okay, so I was trying to blow it up, but
There it is.
yeah. Yeah, the second slide. I created that via Canva. My Get Motivated with Misha on the 3rd page, and my Facebook cover I created myself. And that was a combination. I don't know if you can go to the 3rd slide for me. Well, I did not create that. That I created via Canva. I created this via Canva. That's actually my Facebook background. So Canva is super awesome. It's free.
How do you spell it?
No, you don't have Canva. C-A-N-V-A.
C-A-N-V-A?
So yeah, you don't have to pay somebody all the time. You just got to kind of pick and choose what you're going to pay people for. I have paid for graphic design. Obviously, I paid for this and a book cover and that book cover. But all the other little, like, if you're going to do your own social media marketing, you can create your own graphics. I've been using Canva for about 2 years, and I was not that good at Canva at first. Like, I was teaching one of my business sisters how to use Canva the other day, and I'm like, I don't know if it got easier to use, or if like I got better at it, but I probably got better at it because I'm constantly, again, that automation, I'm constantly using it, so the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it anyways. Yes.
Can you say the name again?
Canva, C-A-N-V-A. Yes.
What have you found is the best way to utilize your email list? Like, how do you get value out of that?
Yes, I love it. That's what I'm kind of diving into that right now, email marketing. That actually is the best way to generate, as far as when I'm learning, revenue. That's where the money is. So MailChimp is what I use. I know that there's a lot of different other ones out there. I know there's MailChimp. I know, what the heck is the name of that? Constant Contact. What's it? ConvertKit, all that stuff. I think ConvertKit costs though, but MailChimp is free. I actually pay for some of my MailChimp because there's like other add-on features that you can do. That is actually the best way to make money right now, because if you're trying to go into coaching like I'm going into with the consultations, that is actually how you're gonna pull your customers in. So it's cool to get people to your blog, and you know, you gotta have that call to action, but I'm not gonna go into that today because I don't have a lot of time to go into it, but what you also want to have is a lead page. So like if somebody comes to my blog right now, I don't have it to where it pops up, but probably within the next few days I am. But they come to my blog, hey, thank you for coming to Ambitious Mix. If you want to receive a free, 30-day planner on becoming more productive, put your email address here. Okay, cool. I got their email address. So now I got their email address, and I can also not only market that to them because that was free, but then when I start coming out with my paid products, I also have their email address still. So then that's an opportunity for me to pitch to them later. Just to kind of give you guys a summary, because I don't have enough time to teach on email marketing today. But it's great. That was a great question, because that's definitely the way to go if you're selling anything. Yep. Any other questions? I'm sorry, so many of you guys asked questions, and I didn't know how many people were going to ask questions. And for the people that asked questions, I was going to give you guys some giveaways too. It was a lot of y'all, so for the people that participated and shared their business, I have Starbucks gift cards for you.